That's the truth.
Hey,
I
man.
don't like them.
Hey.
I like Brandy, though.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right.
Get in line, pimp. Hold on now. Hold on. Don't infringe on my territory. She's right
know, my
here.
bad. So what?
That's funny.
Oh, I love it. Hey, thank you for the call, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate and love y'all movement. I'm gonna do a lot of I'm gonna promote y'all a lot on my demo, but we'll talk about that on a later date.
For sure, man.
And all the guests, I love them and do what y'all do, man. I'm Mo Better Media.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you now.
Thank you, Mo Better.
Yes, sir.
323-965-1600 is the number to dial. I need to ask this question to the sisters, to Veronica, everybody online. Do sisters hate their natural hair?
It's hard to manage. Sometimes it's hard to manage.
So you hate your hair?
I don't hate my hair.
I don't hate it.
Whitney's online hating.
I technically have good hair.
I don't hate it.
What's good hair?
And that's what I'm saying.
Oh, she said it.
I said it. I just said it.
Oh, damn.
That's what I've been told. I didn't know I had bad hair. I was told I have good hair.
Wow.
I don't hate my hair, but some days we don't get along. Mm-hmm. Some days. Now, some days we get along perfectly. But I mean, that's just being a woman.
Wow. Right.
Some days, some days my natural is just perfect. It's exactly in the zone where I want to be. And some days I feel like,
Who has more bad hair days? White women or black women?
Black women.
I feel like a lot of white girls walk out the house looking a mess. But
so half of yourself is answering.
But
right
you're
now.
allowed to be a mess.
Their messy hair to them. Like, oh my gosh, it's not doing it, dude. And it's still. I'm like, oh, your hair looks good, Becky. I don't know what you're.
Veronica, what is this good hair, bad hair thing? What is that? Can you expound on it?
I don't think God made any mistakes by giving us the strongest and the most resilient hair on the planet.
Wow.
I don't think that's a mistake. I think we've mistaken it for what's, quote unquote, much of our energy and attention and focus on shifting, altering, finding style and profile. I mean, we spend so much energy trying to shift that thing that God gave us that it's kind of mind-boggling.
Black women are like, when it comes to cosmetics and weaves and all that stuff, black women are like a Black Panther wearing a lion jacket or something. Like when you see... No, it's weird, because when I see, like, sisters from Africa, say Iman, right? Or, models like her wearing weaves, it just looks out of place.
Hold on a second.
I saw this one sister, I think she's from Sudan. I mean, when I tell you she is as black as a pit bull can, okay? She is black. I mean, charcoal, but... beautiful, probably one of the finest women I've ever seen in my life, but she just seemed out of place with a European styled weave lace front hair.
I mean, she had a bad weave,
but it just seemed weird. It looked strange
because she didn't get it done right.
Listen, it looked like a horse with Negro hair.
Right. So
look like
when I look around at television and the media, what I notice lately is how homogenized beauty has become. Yes. In other words, if you look at Real Housewives or Basketball Wives or a media anchor or anybody, everybody has the same hair, the same clothes, the same shoes, there's no uniqueness left. So
it's like a beauty uniform, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a beauty uniform, and so it's so homogenous.
So listen, ladies, we have to take a quick break. When we come right back, we're going to deal with more of these questions because this is a tough topic. We got a video right now. Let's check it out.
Cosmetic giant L'Oreal has been found guilty of racial discrimination after it hinted that it only wanted thin, young, white women to sell its shampoo in France. Now, France's highest court heard how a fax was sent saying Garnier hostesses, part of L'Oreal's beauty division, should be 18 to 22 years old, size 8 to 12, and BBR, which is widely understood to be a code for white persons. Prosecutors said Garnier wanted to exclude ethnic minority as they would be less likely to sell its shampoo in French shops. The Paris appeal court has fined L'Oreal £25,500 and ordered them to pay the same again to SOS Racism. For more on that, let's go across to Archita, who joins us on the phone line. Archita, big to the image of a brand like L'Oreal.
Niharika, it's definitely a blow to the image of L'Oreal, considering that they've always, gone with the tagline which says "You're worth it." Promoting women to spend a lot on their luxury cosmetics across the world, and also therefore developing the myth that anybody and everybody can look good with a L'Oreal product. But I might also tell you that this is not the first time that these kind of racial slurs have been pointed at L'Oreal by people of relevance. In fact, on a few occasions, certain African-American origin models have also accused L'Oreal of, having selectively picked women of a fairer complexion. However, this also brings about the question that L'Oreal at one point of time has gotten a sub-product endorsed by Eva Longoria, who is an actress of Mexican origin. But their primary products across the world always genuinely are endorsed by thin, white, generally golden-haired girls. That's been a policy with L'Oreal. So in a lot of ways, this is a blow for them. But it's probably not unexpected, considering that they had done a lot of artwork to whiten and lighten the complexion of singer Beyonce Knowles last year when she was doing an endorsement campaign for them.
All right, not the first time such accusations have been made against L'Oreal. Thanks very much, Archita, for joining us with those details.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cold piece of work, cold footage. L'Oreal.
Watching that, hold on.
Guilty of racism.
Can I hop in there? Because watching this cracks me up because they only want white women to be in the commercials and this and the other. But in the commercials, those white women are wearing weave as well. Everybody I know, white, Mexican, whatever.
Yes, they do.
Everybody wears weave now. Like, I feel like an outcast because I don't have weave. My curly-haired homegirl is mad. Like, I want my hair like hers. I said, she's wearing a weave. She's wearing a weave.
I think it's interesting, Whitney, that you bring up. You bring up an interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to think that it is anti-black to wear weaves.
Yes.
When in fact,
we created it.
Hello. If you go back to ancient Egypt, we wore weaves.
We sure did.
We wore wigs. The Republican Party, right, which is, all the America of the wigs. So when you see the judicial system in Europe wearing wigs, they're copying what the Egyptians wore, known as the nemuz. It was a headdress that was a wig, right? So all of this shit is ours. But the hustle is, I'm going to take what was yours, and then I'm going to recondition you to believe that what was yours was originally evil. Then I'm going to create a Diet Coke version of it under my authority and rule and say that's the right way to go, while I'm secretly still studying your original shit.
I agree with you on that one, Zoe. Like I said, and one of the things, too, that bothers me a lot now, because we do have, I think that this whole weave debate thing has just been another thing that is allowed, that has given black men and women a reason to be divisive against each other. Because like Whitney just said, first of all, I've got friends all across the spectrum, and I'm going to tell you, every single one of them has donned a weave at some point or the other. Okay? You brought up the point that the ancient Egyptians created the weave, and actually, while you're bullshitting, the men actually wore weave as well. They would shave all of their hair off in order to prevent lice, and then they would use human hair
or boar's hair,
or boar's hair that was made to replace hair. So it started with us, you know, but black men will go for the European standard of beauty all day long. But then if a sister puts on a weave because maybe this is what she's answering to, okay, this is what they find attractive, now all of a sudden, she's dirty, she's this and she's
But I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that open-minded. I think sisters are more sociologically integrated into American culture than brothers are. And I think sisters are more about getting with the program than brothers are. Brothers are still listen to my metaphor.
I'm still processing.
It's a baseball metaphor. Look at American society. You have ageism, racism, sexism, and classism, right? Then on top of that, there's education, right? There's your religion aspects. There's all of this happening all at the same time. These are filters that we judge and look at each other through, right? Now, use the baseball metaphor. Black men see this, okay, we're public enemy number one. Every black man who steps up to the plate in American society is kind of like a Barry Bonds. They're afraid to pitch to that nigga. They're going to try to walk him. They're going to hit him. Because they know if he makes contact with the ball, that shit's leaving the park. So most brothers have I'm going to hit this ball out of the park so I don't have to go through the rigmarole of corporate bullshit. Jay-Z is a perfect example.
Okay.
That nigga crashed the corporate party through the side door. They didn't know he was going to do what he did. Next thing you know, he's there with the big boys. Right? They didn't have a plan for him to make it to where he made it, but he got through the side door. That's how brothers play the game. We're trying to knock the ball out the park. Sisters, on the other hand, you motherfuckers will steal a base. You motherfuckers will bunt, get a base hit. Y'all sacrifice fly, get a nigga to second. Y'all playing the running game, the small intermediate game, because you play the game more effectively than brothers do, because there's a certain level of tolerance that sisters have that brothers don't. A white man in corporate America can only say, hey, motherfucker, you late. You get here, you in your seat at 8:30. If you're not here by 8:30, Williams, we're going to bring you up on review. You only got a couple of those with a brother. Because at some point, the man in him is going to say, who the fuck are you talking to? At some point.
The man in me is probably going to say the same thing.
But sisters, I'm telling you, sisters play the game differently. So they're more apt to acquiesce. I'm telling you. If you break down the demographics, you look at couples that aren't married. 9 times out of 10, the boyfriend is living with the girlfriend in her place. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just don't know where I don't know where you're going right now.
Well, you just follow.
I'm trying.
All you got to do is hold my hand. I'll lead you to where you need to be. So the point that I'm saying is the beauty, all of this stuff ties in because sisters are willing to play the game. The beauty industry is a game. It's saying, fuck your natural looks. They're not enough. They're not adequate. You're not beautiful. And because you want to fit in, you acquiesce. Tell me I'm wrong. 323-965-1600.
I'm going to tell you that I think that I understand what you're saying. And that has largely happened because, you know, when you do work in corporate America, you can't go in with your hair looking crazy. And
India Arie, go home.
Take
your guitar and get your ass back and go home.
It wasn't as big a mix of naturals going around at the time, and I just decided I no longer wanted to have relaxed hair. I wanted to know what my natural hair even looked like because I had been having a relaxer since I was about 12 years old.
So you had forgotten.
So I had forgotten what my actual natural texture was, and at the time, the only way for me to do that was I went in the barbershop one day. I probably had about shoulder length hair. It was straight. And I said, I got about a month of new growth, and I said, cut it off, take it all off. And they were like, are you crazy? I said, no, I want to take it all off. And I said, go ahead, hurry up and do it now before I get scared. Yeah. And they cut it off, and it was really kind of cool to go on the journey kind of rediscovering that. I went home. I had a cousin, a male cousin of mine. Actually, he wasn't actually. He was married to a cousin, so he wasn't my blood. But he said to me, I wouldn't have a woman of mine walking behind me looking like that. And I said, first of all, you wrong, because if I was your woman, I wouldn't be walking behind you, period.
Boom.
Boom.
Here go the teammate.
But listen, but you know what I'm saying? The very first negative commentary that I got about it was from a male figure who was in my family. He was the first one to say, you're not beautiful like that. What have you done? And I heard a lot of that, and that was a few years back. A couple.
Same.
But the funny thing is now when I look at my pictures of my family on Instagram, I see about 4 or 5 of my aunts who now wear their hair natural. I have some cousins and nieces that wear their hair natural twist, and I think it's pretty cool because I do think that if you accept it and you get pushed past even your own man or your own family members, cousins, uncles telling you screwed up, you're not pretty anymore, and you push past it, maybe you can influence things in a different direction.
Interesting point.
Look, I was going to say I have the similar situation. I lived in South Carolina for a little bit. My hair was not doing that humidity, so I got a little lace front. That was the first time I wore a wig. I was like, I'm just going to do this and walk out the door. Moved back to Seattle. My brother owns a barbershop.
You know how many follically challenged women are like, she wasted a perfectly good lace front with all of that good hair.
See, well, no, I was just lazy. Obviously, I'm just lazy. I didn't want to do all of that. So
they come in handy.
I finally moved back to Seattle, and my brother owns a barbershop and a beauty salon. I walk in there with this lace front, and he's like,
"Take that!"
What the?
Chewbacca
He was like,
outfit.
He went to the head stylist and said, please help fix her head, fix that. Just take the thing off of her head and fix it.
Right.
That's when I was introduced to weaves, and I got addicted. I had weaves for the next 4 years. I didn't want to even go anywhere without a weave because it was like that. Oh,
Veronica,
I'm saying,
how can we free our sisters?
That was my brother who did that. That was my brother's. You know what I'm saying? Like Veronica's saying, he said that, and I'm like, oh well, if my brother is saying that, then I'm gonna listen to him because he's not gonna tell me wrong.
How can we free them, Veronica? Jesus, I'm free.
Well, it's interesting. When I was in college, I did a radio show at Cal Berkeley, and this was right before stripperdom became so mainstreamed.
Stripperdom?
Stripperdom became mainstreamed with the movie Striptease. And I became really fascinated with stripping and the rise of it. I could kind of just see it rising. I had a couple of friends that were in the industry, and it was becoming mainstreamed. And so I interviewed some strippers on a radio show. And one of the things that I discovered is that this was way back. This is 20 years ago. But if anything has happened, it's only gotten amplified in the last 20 years.
Wow.
A sister would get $5 for $20 for every 20 that a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman would make. Or an Asian schoolgirl, because that was a particular fantasy and fetish that many men had.